There's something about Monday mornings that makes me feel like I'm already behind before I even get out of bed. The city outside is all wet sidewalks and impatient honking. I burn my tongue on rushed coffee. My shirt has a wrinkle I can't unsee. And when I finally log into WorkWave, the all-purpose company platform we pretend we love, the first thing I see is the meeting invite I've been dreading. Cross-team sync, product plus marketing mandatory. Which means one thing: Elliot Rivera. We're the same level, different departments. He's all charisma and crisp outfits, like someone who gets out of bed with theme music playing. I'm not. I'm the guy who triple checks data and finds typos in client briefs. I've never met someone so good at making you feel like you said something wrong without actually saying it. It's not that we've fought exactly, but the energy's always just below a simmer, the kind where every word feels like a chess move. Still, I admire him. From a distance. A very professional, non-weird distance. I get to the conference room early and organize my notes. He walks in 7 minutes late with a half smile that looks like it cost him effort. We nod. That's it. The meeting is the usual mess. Overlapping deadlines, unclear responsibilities, passive-aggressive feedback disguised as suggestions. Elliot calls something unrealistic. I say we need accountability. People shift uncomfortably in their chairs. Afterward, I sit back at my desk and reread the chat transcript, wondering if I could have worded things differently. Better. Less like me. By 10:30 that night, I'm home, showered, and halfway through reheated pad thai when I open After Hours, the anonymous side channel on WorkWave. We're technically not supposed to use it for personal stuff. Everyone does anyway. There's a message waiting for me from someone I've only ever known as Artisan Roast. Today was brutal. Someone needs to teach product how to smile. I laugh out loud, alone in my tiny apartment. My reply is instant. And someone needs to teach marketing how to meet deadlines. It's our thing. Teasing, but never mean. He's sharp, but warm. Witty without trying too hard. I don't know who he is. I don't even know if he works in the same building, but talking to him is the most natural part of my day. We chat until almost midnight. He asks me what I'd do if I weren't in tech. I tell him I'd open a bookstore near the coast, something quiet with terrible Wi-Fi and a shop cat named Juniper. He says he'd visit. I don't say it, but that sentence alone keeps me awake longer than it should. Some nights we talk about nothing. Other nights, like tonight, it feels like something. Still, there's a line we haven't crossed. We haven't exchanged real names, no photos, no "what team are you on?" Even though I've imagined his voice 100 times, even though I sometimes scroll through the office wondering if I've walked right past him. Part of me wants to know. The other part is terrified that if I do, it won't feel the same. Before logging off, he sends one last message. Maybe one day we meet IRL. I type back, maybe. But in my head, I say, please. Because at Artisan Roast makes me feel seen in a way I haven't felt since moving here, in a way I don't even feel when I look in the mirror. What I don't know is that he's not just in the same building. He's the one person I've been avoiding all day. The next few days slide by in a blur of deadlines, rescheduled meetings, and a broken printer that seems personally offended by me. I try to keep my head down, which would be easier if Elliot didn't keep showing up in every corner of my workday like some immaculately dressed ghost. He doesn't talk to me unless he has to. When he does, it's clipped, efficient, a little too polite. And yet somehow, he always manages to say something that echoes in my head for hours after. It's ridiculous, honestly. We're not even in the same department, but every time he walks into a room, I notice. Not just because of the way he looks. Though, yes, he has cheekbones that could cut glass, but because he radiates this untouchable confidence. The kind of ease I've never had, the kind of ease I wish I didn't find so attractive. Meanwhile, at Artisan Roast keeps lighting up my nights. We've been messaging more, longer conversations, fewer filters. I know he grew up on the East Coast. I know he loves storms but hates umbrellas. I know he once changed his whole college major because a professor told him he was too passionate to do finance. I know his favorite poet. I know he listens to music like it's oxygen. And yet, I don't know his name. Sometimes I imagine it's someone I've never met, a guy in a satellite office or someone in finance who doesn't come in often. That feels safest, cleaner. Because the other possibility, that I've walked right past him, would mean I've been blind this whole time. Or worse, wrong. Tonight, our chat turns more personal. You ever feel like you're one version of yourself during the day and someone else entirely at night? He writes. I stare at the message for a long time. Then I reply, all the time. He sends back a sad face emoji. Then I feel like I'm more myself here than anywhere else. Like I can exhale. I don't reply right away. My chest tightens, but not in a bad way. It's more like a question I don't have the courage to ask. Then, do you ever wonder if we've seen each other before? I freeze. For a moment, the whole conversation tilts. The easy rhythm of our usual messages feels fragile now, like a wire stretched too tight. Do I? Yes, every time I walk through the office. Every time I sit in a meeting and someone laughs in a way that reminds me of him. Every time I hear a sentence that echoes something we've said in private. But I've never said it out loud, not even to myself. I type back, maybe, or maybe we're exactly where we're supposed to be. He likes the message, that's it, but it stays with me for hours. The next morning, I walk into a joint team presentation, and there he is, Elliot, standing at the front, adjusting the slides. His shirt is too perfect, and his smirk is already loaded with something I won't like. I tell myself to focus, not on him, not on how he tilts his head when he listens or how fast he talks when he's excited, not on the weird pull in my chest. He makes a joke about a typo on one of the slides, my slide, and the room laughs. It's not cruel, not really, but I still feel the heat rise in my face. I look down. I open WorkWave under the table and scroll to my saved chat. No new message from Artisan Roast. Somehow that stings more. Later that night, I get a message from him. Sorry I vanished. Long day. You okay? I don't know how to answer that, so I just send, better now. And it's true. At least here, I don't feel small. At least here, I can be the version of myself I wish I could be out there. But the longer this goes on, the harder it is to keep the two worlds apart. And somewhere, buried deep in a thought I try not to have, a quiet suspicion starts to grow. Not loud, not clear, just a flicker. What if I already know him? What if I've known him all along? I've always believed I'm good at separating things. Work is work. Feelings are feelings. Reality is here. The spreadsheets, the deadlines, the cautious small talk in the elevator. Fantasy is late at night, in the quiet glow of a chat box with someone I can't name but somehow trust more than anyone else. But lately, the separation is getting harder to manage. Elliot's been different. Not wildly. No one else would notice, but I do. Sometimes he looks at me like he's about to say something, then changes his mind. Other times, I catch him watching me during meetings. Not critically, just watching, like he's seeing something I'm not saying. I wonder if he senses it too, this invisible thread between us, or maybe I'm imagining it. Still, there are too many coincidences lately. Last Thursday, Artisan Roast mentioned his favorite band, obscure, weird, beautiful. I added it to my playlist. The next morning, Elliot hummed one of their songs while pouring coffee in the break room. Maybe it's just a good song. 2 nights ago, at Artisan Roast sent a voice message, something short, laughing, offhanded. I listened to it 3 times. The rhythm of his voice, the way he says certain vowels, it's not exactly Elliot, but it's close. I haven't brought it up. I can't. What would I even say? Tonight, I send him a question I've been holding in for weeks. If you could meet me, would you want to? His reply takes longer than usual. Yes, but I'm afraid. I leave it on read. The next day is chaos. I haven't slept well. And of course, I get paired with Elliot to fix a client mess. We sit at a shared table, close enough that I can smell his cologne, something woodsy and expensive. He leans in, lowers his voice, and says, "You always look like you're holding something back." I blink. What? He shrugs. Just an observation. His tone? It feels familiar. Too familiar. That night, I scroll back through old messages with Artisan Roast. I find it. Weeks ago, he mentioned a tattoo. A small line of text on his left wrist. I never thought twice about it. Until today, when Elliot rolled up his sleeves at the printer and I saw the same line of ink half hidden under his watch. I don't message him that night. I don't sleep either. Because now, it's not a theory. It's not a suspicion. It's a truth I'm not ready for. And if I'm right, if Elliot is him, then everything changes. The morning after I found out, I wake up late, disoriented. I check WorkWave the moment I open my eyes. Nothing from at Artisan Roast. Of course not, because he's not there. He's 20 feet away in the same office. I see him before lunch by the coffee machine. He looks up and meets my eyes. Something passes between us. He knows. I know he knows. And I don't say anything. The message comes after midnight. It's from @artisan_roast. But it isn't typed. It's a photo. A blurry shot of a street lamp near the office. Under it, a bench. And one line of text. I'm here. If you want to talk. I stand in front of that bench 15 minutes later. He's already sitting there. When he looks up, I see something in his face I've never seen before. Nervousness. Real, unfiltered fear. He speaks first. I didn't know at first. I swear I didn't. But then, I couldn't figure out how to tell you without ruining everything. I don't say anything. I didn't mean to lie, he says. I just liked being that version of me. The one you talked to. The one you didn't already hate. That's not true, I say. I never hated you. He lets out a breath. Well, you rolled your eyes a lot. I almost smile. We sit in silence. Then I say, I meant everything I said to you. Every message, every dumb joke, the bookstore, Juniper the cat, all of it. He nods. Me too. I look at him. Really look. He's not the guy I made up in my head. He's better, messier, sharper, real. So what now, I ask. He shrugs. We start over? Or we keep going. Or we get coffee and pretend none of this ever happened. I sit beside him on the bench, close enough that our shoulders touch. Let's not pretend. He looks at me, and this time, I don't look away. If this story moved you, even a little, let's talk about it. Have you ever fallen for someone before truly knowing who they were? Have you ever felt more like yourself online than in real life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What moment hit you the hardest? Who did you relate to more, Noah or Elliot? Would you have confronted the truth or walked away? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. There are so many stories still waiting to be told. And hey, maybe your story's next.